In the world of solo leveling, everyone talks about the Monarchs and the Shadow Army, but the real ones know that the world's true defense wasn't built by the system. It was built by two men in suits. One, a battle-hardened lion with the power of a god trapped in a dying body. The other, a cold-blooded enforcer with enough Black Air Force energy to keep every S-rank in line. Today, we're breaking down the legendary duo that the Monarchs were too afraid to fight in their prime, Chairman Go Gun-hee and his shadow, Woo Jin-chul. This isn't just about hunter ranks, it's about the unbreakable legacy that the Western fandom is finally starting to respect. In solo leveling, the most unbreakable hunter wasn't actually protected by a system, but by sheer human willpower. While the Eastern fandom was busy glazing the Monarchs, Western fans just realized the hardest hitter in solo leveling wasn't a god, it was a man in a suit. Forget the mid-hunters who folded the moment a gate turned red. We're talking about Woo Jin-chul, the goated enforcer who lived rent-free in the heads of every criminal hunter from Seoul to DC. He wasn't just a bureaucrat, he was the literal final boss of the Hunters Association. And today, we're breaking down why his lore is more alpha than any S-rank you've seen on a Crunchyroll premiere. On the surface, Jin-chul looks like your typical corporate suit, but don't get it twisted. This man is cooked in the best way possible. While the US government has the CIA, the Korean Association has Jin-chul. He's the A rank who holds the power scale of a national-level hunter. In the anime, his presence is a masterclass in Black Air Force energy. He doesn't need a flashy sword, he uses his fists to maintain the status quo. If the Avengers had a guy this locked in, Thanos wouldn't have made it past the first movie. The manhwa portrays him as a stoic wall, but the anime adds that visceral grit we crave in the West. When the Jeju Island raid goes south, Jin-chul is the one keeping the backline from collapsing. He's the Nick Fury of anime, but with hands that can actually level a skyscraper. In Solo Leveling Arise, Jin-chul is a tactical cheat code. His kit revolves around defense to stun scaling that makes bosses look like toddlers. But the real mind blow happens in Ragnarok. After the reset, he went from a powerless detective to the chairman of the New Age, grooming Sung Soo-ho to become the next monarch. He's the Batman who actually got the powers he deserved. While other hunters rely on the system to carry them, Jin-chul relies on his conviction. Because at the end of the day, a system can give you power, but it can never give you a soul. But where did this conviction come from? Jin-chul didn't just learn to lead, he was forged in the presence of a king. Because the only thing more terrifying than a monarch's shadow is the what-if of the man who mentored him, the lion who stood at the top when the world was first breaking apart. In solo leveling, the only thing more terrifying than a monarch's shadow is the what-if of the man who led the hunters. While the casuals were busy glazing the Monarchs, Western fans just realized the real GOT of the series wasn't a young warrior, it was a lion in a suit whose heart was his only limit. Forget the mid-S ranks who only show up when the gate is easy. We're talking about Go Gun-hee, the Fragment of Luminosity who lived rent-free in the heads of every monarch. Imagine this, if Go Gun-hee had awakened in his 20s, the entire series would have been over before Jinmu even entered the double dungeon. He wasn't just a leader, he was the literal final boss that the Monarchs were too afraid to fight in a fair fight. Today, we're breaking down why his aura is more alpha than any S-rank you've seen on a Crunchyroll premiere. On the surface, his aura looks like your typical corporate suit, but don't get it twisted, this man is cooked in the best way possible. Most of the anime community is sleeping on the most tragic part of his lore. Go Gun-hee is a late bloomer. He didn't get his powers as a teenager, he awakened when he was already in his 60s. He's like a Ferrari engine trapped in a rusted vintage car. He received the power of a god exactly when his body became too frail to swing it. This is why every second he uses his mana, he's literally shaving years off his life. Notice the rugged scars across his cheek and down to his neck in the anime? Those marks aren't just for show. They represent a proven warrior who was a taekwondo master long before the gates opened. But deeper than that, his physical condition is a visual cue that his body is literally cracking under the pressure of being a ruler's vessel. He holds the same celestial power as Thomas Andre, but while the Goliath is a physical tank, Chairman Go is a tactical nuke. He possesses the ruler's authority, a telekinetic divine force that could evaporate high orcs in an instant. The only thing keeping the Monarchs safe was Go Gun-hee's failing human heart. Let's get real. The what if of a prime Go Gun-hee is the biggest threat the series never fully unleashed. If he was in his prime during the Jeju Island raid, he wouldn't have needed a team. He would have been a one-man army clearing the skies. Even Antares, the Monarch of Destruction, would have been forced to reveal his true form much sooner just to survive the golden pressure of a young Gun-hee. The Monarchs didn't jump him early because they were brave. They waited for him to be isolated and weak because they were terrified of a kamikaze strike from a dying legend. But let's talk about the heart of the manhwa. The anime gives us the hype, but the manhwa gave us the soul. Go Gun-hee is the Whitebeard of solo leveling. Just as Whitebeard's death triggered the Great Pirate Era's darkest chapter, Chairman Go's passing was the open season for the Monarchs. As long as the old lion was breathing, the world was under his protection. His death wasn't just a loss of a hunter, it was the moment the world lost its moral compass and its strongest shield. He saw a king in Jinwoo long before anyone else did, passing the torch to the next generation with the dignity of a true king. In solo leveling Arise, Chairman Go is a tactical cheat code, dominating with light attribute bursts that make bosses look like toddlers. But his greatest skill wasn't mana, it was his leadership. He trained Woo Jin-chul to be the successor, teaching him that being a hunter isn't about the rank the system gives you, but the code of honor you keep. Even in the solo leveling Ragnarok era, his name remains the ultimate symbol of human resilience. While other hunters were chasing fame, Chairman Go was building a legacy that outlived his own heartbeat. He is the old lion who died standing, proving that true power isn't about how many shadows you command, but how much light you leave behind for the next generation to follow.